on, YouTube? It's been a while. With the beard growing out, as you can see, it's been several months since my last post, my last video. I'm just out here doing a little bit of work on the old Tahoe. I've been kind of playing around with names. I've been thinking maybe Ragnarok. I always liked like Greek and Norse mythology, so kind of been playing around with maybe Ragnarok or something along those lines. Either way, we're doing a little workout here, and I just wanted to, send you guys an update on kind of where the vehicle's at and what we've been doing and what we're doing right now. So anyway, we've got the Tahoe here. This is what it currently looks like. We had to get some new doors and stuff for it, so we got a lot of different colors going on, but we got some new wheels for it, a cheap set of wheels. Found those for like 150 bucks online, so I was pretty proud of that. But we got, as you guys know, 390 amp CES alternator on the hood. All 2-aught, big 3, 2-aught runs to the back. I think we have 4 runs, 2 positive, 2 grounds of 2-aught running to the back right now. And on the inside, this is kind of what we've got going. The ceiling all done. I'm not sure if I ever showed that in the last video, so I'm showing it again just because, but not sure if I showed the new seats. I found a set of used seats. It does have one little tear right there in that seat, and like I said, it's got a little rough spot, but they're a lot better than the last seats. We're just disintegrating. Passenger seat looks perfect, but there's the old 4 XV315s from Sundown, and as you can see, I got some stains. I had to do some work. We burned an amp up. I put a new amp in. Again, I'm not really sure where we're at with the videos. This is just an update. So anyway, we got the old JC Customs bass knob going there, looking all pretty and everything. And yeah, still rocking the Power acoustic head unit. I gotta say, if you guys are looking for a cheap-ish head unit that does 4-volt pre-out, dude, amazing radio. Like, I love this radio. I love the fact that it's a single dim profile, but it's still all touchscreen. I would turn it on, but you'll see why I can't turn it on here in just a second. But yeah, I'm gonna run, I think, my mids and highs to a separate bass knob. That way, we can turn those up and down at will if we want to. But anyway, that Power acoustic is incredible. Does Apple CarPlay, does Android Auto. It's got the USBs. I've got the USB routed right there. That way I can just plug in my thumb drive right there whenever I want to. And then it'll stay nice and hidden. But I've been super proud of that radio, man. Great sound quality as far as I can tell. I've never been one to be able to really tell the difference between sound quality. But that's our ugly doors we got working with right now. Like I said, I threw those together for last show season. And then that's just kind of what's been in here. I've got some stuff in the works because I've got 4 Sky High 6.5s, and they're a little bit higher power handling than the Resilient Sounds. Haven't figured out if I'm going to leave the Resilient Sounds 8s in the doors and then just add the 2 6.5s, or take the 8s out and just run the 2 6.5s. I haven't really decided yet. I'm not wanting to go much crazier than that on the doors, but if I can, I would like to leave the 8s and then have a single 8 and then 2 6.5s. I'm going to put those up here on top of the door and build their own little enclosure to attach to the door there. I probably won't redo my door panels. I was really thinking about redoing them like fancy and making them actually look good, because right now they really don't. But right now they're just strong and it's just wood. But I probably not going to have time to do that anytime soon, so I'm probably just going to leave it. But yeah, that's kind of what we're working with on the inside of the vehicle. Lord, I don't even want to show you the mids and highs because I had to rip it all out and then throw it all back in for a show like overnight. So I've got wires running everywhere. I did have all this zip tied and everything, but we're running the Taramps TS1200 right now. The DS 1200x4 burned up. That's my fault. I left a wire loose that had come loose from the speaker, was making contact with the metal. It grounded out. I kept turning it off and back on, trying to figure out where the problem was, and I burned it up. So that's on me, not Taramps. But we're still running the old dusty 400x4 down there below for the tweets. I've got to clean all that back up. But I did add a DSP again. I don't know if I've got that on video. So I've got the Taramps DSP. I really am glad I added this. This has been fantastic. But I'm wanting to do some different stuff with the doors, because the doors don't sound great right now. So I still have some stuff that I want to do. I've never done sound quality before, as far as like trying to tune anything for sound quality. I've just always had it loud, and that's kind of what it is right now, is just loud. So in the back, we are running the Tar Amps Big Boss 8K. And again, I would show it to you all lit up, but guess what? Yeah, can't right now because we're redoing all under here. You notice there is a very big thing missing under here, and that is battery power. We were running 127 amp hours of sodium. I had this bank first, which I think was a 90 amp hour bank. Don't quote me on that. I think this was a 90 amp hour bank, and it wasn't quite enough because I was only charging at 14.8. And when you're charging at 14.8, if you look at a state of charge, you're only getting like 60 to 70% of the output from the sodiums. So I was dropping into like high 12s, mid 12s on really long demos, like low 12s. Not great. So I wanted to go ahead and upgrade. Right now, they just discontinued. These are Srico sodium cells, and they just discontinued these. The manufacturer that was making them quit making them. So obviously, Srico can't get them. I hope I'm saying Srico correctly, because that's what it looks like, Sriko. Great company to deal with. Phenomenal customer service. Not saying anything bad about them. It's just their manufacturer that was manufacturing those for them quit making them, and so you can't get them anymore. And I just wanted to take that opportunity to go ahead and switch. I could have went ahead and charged them higher, which I did add a diode to my alternator, so it is now charging at 15.2. I think I'm going to add one more diode and bump up that voltage a little bit more to charge like 15.6, because we are switching to LTO. We have 120 amp hours. I wished I would have taken video of when it was outside of my very shoddily made boxes. You can tell my boxes are not pretty that I've been building for these things, but you don't see it anyway. Like, I don't ever open that and show anybody under there, so I just don't really know why I would take the time to build that out. But I did build a box with a top enclosure this time, because I just don't want the bus bars exposed on the top like these were. But two, this thing's so tall, I'm going to attempt to actually turn it sideways to where the bus bars are facing me. And I think it's going to allow me a lot more room, a lot more slack in my wires to be able to work on this thing. But got the cells all balanced already. I've got this charged up to 15.5 volts right now, so that should be plenty to be able to slap it on the vehicle. I can't be 100% sure where my alternator is charging. It was charging the sodium up to like, I think 15.17. So I'm going to guess it's 15.2. I let the vehicle run a long time, but I didn't have a power supply. My old power supply burned up and died. I had to throw it away. So I do have a new power supply now, so I can actually charge these things up before I put it in the vehicle. So I went ahead and charged this up to 15.5. That way it'll be higher than what the alternator's charging. And that way I can turn the vehicle on, let this run down until it matches what the alternator's charging at. And that'll give us a good idea of what our actual voltage output is of our alternator right now. That way I can add another diode. The diodes I have right now, I think, are adding around 0.4 of a volt. So if I'm charging at 15.6, these old Tahoes, I've already done research. I've asked other people online. They say these old Tahoes can take up to 16 volts pretty easy. So I'm not worried about running it at 15.6. You can do the dual charging system. I just really don't want to deal with that. I don't want to, for one, run a dual alt that's just running the factory equipment. If I can get away with 15.6, why not do that? And then when I add a dual alternator, just add another high output alternator charging at 15.6. And that way we've got double the output. And I would much rather do that, I think. So anyway, that's where we are right now. I'm fixing to work on getting this in there and wired back up. As you can see, we've got all of our wires coming down, all of our 2-watt positive and negative, and then we have a 2-watt positive and negative. This is all of our wires that are actually coming from the amplifier right here. I'm not sure if I was getting all that. I didn't. So there's our 2-watt power and ground. Here's a 2-watt power and ground. This stuff is from Sky High. They had it on clearance. That's why the pink. But that's the old green stuff that I've always ran and everything. This has been in, I think, 3 different builds and a boat so far, so it's done me really good. I've really been pleased with the Sky High wire, but we've got all the 1-aught that runs up to the amplifier. This is all CCA, so I'm really wanting to replace this with OFC. But again, I just had this, so it was hard to spend another 100 and whatever dollars on another roll of 1/0 when I just had a bunch of 1/0 sitting around. But you can see I've got the dual inputs up here. Well, you can't see too well because of the lighting, but I do have the dual inputs, so I mean, it's got plenty of wire for the juice it's pulling. But the hope is, with the 390 amp alternator, with the 120 amp hour of LTO, this will allow me to add a second 8K and be able to run that. If not, I will have to upgrade to a second alternator. We'll have to do another run of 2-watt powering ground. I don't know that I'm going to do another 390. I might just do like a 320, and that's going to be enough amperage coming from the alternators to cover anything I'm ever going to do with this thing. I mean, I'm never going to be running stupid amounts of power in this. I'm looking at, you know, probably clamping, hopefully 12K, 13K. Honestly, that's probably all I'm ever going to do. I don't see myself upgrading the subs past the XV3s anytime soon. I mean, those things can already handle 3,000-4,000 watts a piece pretty easy. So I just don't foresee myself ever, you know, upgrading for years, if ever, you know. So yeah, we are going to put these for sale. The sodiums will be for sale soon on the old Facebook. And there's a lot of guys looking for those right now that want to upgrade their banks or get extra cells. Those are basically brand new. I mean, I think I probably have 10 hours of playtime total on those. And yeah, so that's just kind of where we're at right now. But appreciate you guys watching if you did. That's just a little update. I'm going to get this thrown back in here, and I may post another little clip at the end of this when I get that all hooked up. Alrighty, guys. Well, we had to go out to eat and had to go run a few errands. Mom's thinking about getting a dog, so we went to meet the dog. But anyway, so we got it all installed in there. All my mismatched ugly wires. Maybe one of these days I'll order enough wiring. I'm still gonna zip tie all this up, and that way it's nice and neat and grouped together, not pulling any more than it has to on certain connections. But yep, there she is. She's charging at, I charged this up to 15.5, but I guess after it rested, it came down to like 14.9 again. But just get the old multimeter hooked up here. Yep, that's the highest I've seen. And it's backwards in the camera because I don't have it turned around correctly, but 15.26 is our final load, which kind of concerns me because I want to add another diode. I may have to look for some different diodes. Like I said, I think these are about it was charging at 14.7. It's supposed to be a 14.8 regulator on the alt, but all I ever saw I think was 14.7. So it stepped it up from 14.7 to 15.2 mid. So let's say 14.8 to 14.2. So that's a 0.4 jump. If I do 0.4 again, I'm gonna be charging at like the 15.7 range. I don't know if I want to push that far. I don't know if I want to push this vehicle that far. So I may look online, see if I can find some different diodes that are maybe a little bit smaller step up. These were some pretty beefy diodes just because I didn't want to ever have any problems with heat in these diodes or anything. These are some pretty big ones. Oh, it's going to 15.27 now. Maybe charging higher. I don't know. It just clicked up to 15 point. It's fluctuating between 2.6 and 2.7. So I don't really know what our final charge rate's going to be. We're going to leave it at 15.3 for now. We just have the 1.8K in here, so I'm going to see maybe what it does at 15.3, and if it does fine at 15.3 on the single 8K, I'm just going to leave it. And then later on, if I add a second amp, when I add a second amp, because we will be adding a second 8K to this system, if it's not enough, we'll bump it up. But yeah, that's the video. We got the LTO installed. Like I said, I'm going to move it forward. I'm going to, actually bolt it down to my amp rack and all that. And there's I never showed that earlier. Wasn't able to show that earlier because I didn't have the battery. There's the tar amps all going pretty. This is as you saw in the last video, that's the style I went with. And like I said, it's got the closing door. We'll just close up the door really quick just to see what that looks like. But we Got the cabinet push closes. It doesn't look too bad back there to me. It'll look better with a second 8K. That's the reason I left this open. The second 8K will go here, be facing you, one down here, one up here. And that'll make wiring pretty easy. I'll just cut a hole right here for the other amp wires to run through. We'll put spacers like we did with these, and that way all the bottom's open. Eventually I want to put a couple of those fans in. That way it has fans up underneath. But I've been kind of considering maybe doing some computer fans, even like right here in the front, cutting some holes for computer fans in this front door. But I don't know how I'd do that with that being a swinging door. I might even put them up here. That way it just gets some airflow from the sides, because these sides are still open right here. So if I put some that just blew out from this top right here, it would pull the cool air from in the sides, and it would blow it through the thing, and it would circulate up under those amps. I haven't figured out how I want to do it yet. I would like to do it where it looks really clean. I just don't want computer fans facing me. So, and I really hate the way, I know they work really well, but those like boat fans, whatever they're called, I forget the actual name for them, but they're for boats. They're for aerating like the fuel area in a boat. I just don't like the way they look, the big fans. So I'm going to try to do something. I really like EXO's build, how he did it pulls external air up through it. I probably won't go external, but I really like the way his looks. It looks really clean. You can't see any fans. So I'm trying to come up with some idea of how to do that to where it would circulate some air up under the amplifiers and keep that vented in there. The LTO should never get too hot, but you know, I would like to have some airflow on it instead of just having it completely closed off. So anyway, that's what we're working with right now. LTO's all looking pretty in there, and yeah, so we're gonna get everything moved around in there and button back up, and I'm gonna get I think I'm gonna have room now for a storage crate over here. That way I can put all the tools and stuff, and that way they're not just loose bouncing around like they have been. But anyway, yeah, so hopefully the next video, I want to get some demo videos going. I posted a short, if you want to watch that, to the channel of my little brother, his girlfriend, and my daughter getting a demo that my little brother and his girlfriend hadn't heard it yet. My little brother's been to some sound shows with me, so he's heard some big-ish systems, but he had never been in one this big, so it was cool to get their reaction. So go watch that if you don't mind, and yeah. Thank you guys for watching the channel. If you did watch the video, and subscribe for more. I'll have more bass videos coming soon. Later.